Hello. How's everybody doing out there? Talking shit Tuesday. That's right. We talk some shit on Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, so I'm a little lethargic. I didn't sleep at all last night. I just had shivers and puking, and I don't know, must have had a bug, but I feel better now after just every pill in the house that had anything to do with anything I just took, and I just bombed myself with bullshit. And so far, so good. So today we're going to talk about Ford potentially teasing, or let's just say there have been test mules spotted around Detroit of Ford supposedly testing out new GT500 stuff with the supposed Legend engine that they're going to be offering on the new 2026, I think, GT500. Now, we can speculate as to what engine that's going to be. I can't imagine it's not a dual overhead cam motor. I can't imagine they're going to put a push rod in it after seeing all the issues, but I would not put it past them if they put a I don't want to say a Whipple. I don't think anything Whipple is going to end up in an OEM. Again, OEM GT500. I think it'll be a TVS of some sort. It's like a 2650. But I don't know what the engine is going to be. Is it going to be a 5.4 Coyote, a 5.5 Coyote? Is it going to be a bigger Coyote with bigger stroke? Who knows? But I think that would be amazing if Ford shoved a little more cubic inches in a Coyote, bring that torque back. Do not use the DCT, and we'll see how all that goes. Well, I'll talk about maybe Cooper Baggetti chiming in on the whole 1320 Didio talking shit podcast stuff. He basically said like, hey, that they did nothing wrong, and I don't disagree, but I'll give you guys some context as to why he, I think, is a little misguided, or maybe doesn't know the whole story. There's always the A side, the B side, and the truth is usually and the third thing, so we'll see how that all goes. But we'll talk about that and many more things, but not before Mr. Bill O'Reilly tells us to do it live.
Okay. We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
It does suck, man. I'm telling you, Bill O'Reilly, you are not wrong. It sucks. What doesn't suck is the PMAS cold air intake. That's right, PMAS, the best cold air intake. Nobody else matters. I don't know why the hell you guys would buy anything else or would even look. Oh, I want it to be carbon fiber. I want it to look good. Fuck that. Your hood is shut for a reason. Just drive the fucking thing. Put the best cold air intake anywhere. PMAS. And you can get a PMAS cold air intake at Dyno Performance. That's right. DynoPerformance.com. Dyno Performance. You're going to get all your Go Fast goodies there. Your Ford Innovation fuel system. Your 4-star wheels. Your weld wheels. Any wheel. You're going to get your Injectors, ID1050Xs, which I wish everyone had. I haven't had any issues with those, but I've had issues with everything else this week. Dyno Performance, Partrum.com, Partrum, the online used parts and crank and pallet source. I just looked at their website. They got a couple of new cars for sale. They got a 11 GT500 in race red. Thing is trash, but man, that would be a nice car to build up and just cruise at 800 horsepower. Two-Auto Solution, Rami's right on. Two-Auto Solution. Puerto Rico, Caguas, they have power now, so he can work on your car in Caguas, Puerto Rico, and Bellac Industries, that's right. I put Bellac on my GT500, posted a 60-130 on Instagram, and everyone is losing their fucking mind. Apparently, a lot of people talked a little shit saying, that car's going bolt-on GT500 times, and I'm like, well, now it's going 5.9. What's it going now? It's going bolt-on ZR1 times, because I owned one, and that's what it ran in Florida. And I think if I wanted to maximize that current combo, I can go 5.7, 5.6, but I just want to go right to the 4s. And always richprince.com/YDBT. You're going to go there, you're going to buy merch. You're going to buy a 1320 Didio shirt so that Kyle Loftus knows that him and his gay boyfriend are on my radar. Heyo. F1320, Section Hate shirts and hoodies. YDBT Emery and Dolo hats, flat brim and curved. YDBT in red, white, and blue, green, black, long sleeve, short sleeve, hoodies. Man, a little bit of everything. 1320 Didios and F1320. Boy, stickers. You got to just buy it for just the stickers. I wonder how much we sold last month, because I'm probably due to get my little check. Do you know what I'm saying? Let's add it to people here. We'll talk a little bit about the GT500 and we'll read the car and driver article about what they suspect the GT500 is. I think they just go into specs, but we can speculate here. Bryson Witt, Redbird, Coyote Kelly, Dixon, Pacho, Tole Dumper, Frank Donahue, CPR Andrew, Bryson Witt putting up the links. I appreciate him very much. Always putting up the links, making sure that everyone is up to snuff. Matt Oliver, Ken McAllister, Joe Jackson, SK Production, Head Game Motor Work. What's up, brother? B. Lewis, Z33 Camzilla, Kylan, Pito, Chiquito, 1 of 1 RT, TR. Carlos Bahina, Big Pops, 9540, Clint Stroke, 1320 Didio says, watch the new GT500 be another 5.0 with a Whipple. It can't be a Whipple because Ford has never used anything OEM with a Whipple. 5 Point Ho, Jose Sanchez, Mini by Madman Teaches, Skorsky, Stuart D, El Verga Larga, SVT, El Verga Larga, John Boneno, the Tony the Truck Guy, Wesley Stewart, Robosal Yusuf, Mustang Dennis, Head Games. What does Alex do to prepare? I pictured jumping jacks. Not today. I was sleeping. I needed to rest. My body was just. Then I had to work. And dude, guys, stop buying on 3 kids. Just stop. Consider anything else. Nothing but issues with those pieces of shit. I'm telling you guys, just the worst piece of shit made on the planet. It's cheap so that the common man can afford it. But then guess what? They just drop off the bag and say, Alex, you handle the tuning. I'm like, dude, it's 40% lean everywhere on known data. So then he has to tighten this clamp, that clamp, this clamp, that clamp. And then we get a hit in and the thing blows up. I think he had something plumbed backwards on the wastegate. It's all like 30 pounds of boost. I'm like, I don't command boost. So yeah, stop buying those kids, please. Lupe Marquez, aggressively average. Tony the Truck Guy, Nerd Mercado, Head Games again. Predator, CJ, Mark Christian, Tony the Truck Guy, Big Stewie. If it's a 1080, you're a non-drive motherfucker. Grandpa's Race Car, Jeremy Hooglin, Kerika Verga. She said, I'm a Dark Horse member. Alexi Gomez, 1320, Izzy R, Gergi Ovish, Magyar Savar, Nathan Cobra, Jeremy, Timmy T, Dixon, Corsa Gaze, and all the usual suspects. Guys, thank you so much for hanging in there with me. I appreciate you guys very much. You guys make the world go round. I'm telling you, if you saw what I saw on the ticket system, you would quit this industry. You'd quit it. It's so crazy. So, Car and Driver reported today that Ford starts testing prototypes for next Mustang Shelby GT500, written by Caleb Miller today, April 29th, 2025. When Ford launched the 7th generation Mustang for 2024 model year, the automaker also introduced a new name for the muscle car's high-performance trim. Instead of calling it the GT350 with the previous Mustang, the more potent V8 carried by the Dark Horse moniker, but don't worry, the Shelby name is still set to return, and our spy photographers have caught Ford testing prototypes for the next Shelby GT500 around the company's Dearborn, Michigan headquarters. Our spy photographers snapped pictures of several different Mustang test mules. The prototype's sheet metal is mostly identical to the Dark Horse, but there are a few small differences hinting that these are even more powerful Mustangs. The clearest change is the front end, which sports reworked bumpers featuring larger air intakes and big radiators on clear display. The test mules have slightly reshaped front wheel arches, which appear to account for wider front tires. The rear end, aft, and the B-pillar also wears camouflage wrap, although it's unclear what exactly this is masking. So obviously you see a big inlet right here. So to me, it looks like they're either going to have heat exchangers, like 2 heat exchangers on each side. Maybe, well, obviously air to water, just like stock. So air to water on 2 sides. I think similar to what? Hellcats? Don't Hellcats have it that way? Or do they have it on one side? Not 100% sure because I've never really taken a Hellcat bumper apart. But supposedly the Legend, which no one really knows what it is going to end up being in this thing. And what is this thing? What is that? I wish I could. Let me see. Download image. Can I download image? Image in new tab. Can I download image? Let me see. What is this? I want to see that. Save as. Sure. Downloads. No, it's funny because when you see that pop up, you kind of go, whoa, what is that? So let me just highlight this to see if I can zoom in to see what that is, because I kind of just want to see what's going on. Here we go. Oh, what, dude, just open up, please. God damn it. There we go. God damn it. All right. What is this little thing they have going on here? What the fuck is going on? Because, I don't know if they're being funny and if they're trying to troll photographers, but sometimes they put little hints and clues, but I don't know what that little thing is. Maybe you guys do. But, okay, we could keep reading the article, I guess. Whatever. The sighting of the prototypes follows a rumor from last month based on what was reportedly a leaked United Auto Workers internal memo that was posted to Reddit and later deleted. The document stated that, I like how they say, leaked. No, Ford puts it out there to get buzz. Please, don't think you're playing that game. The plant would be adding a new shift to produce engines for the 2026 Shelby GT500, and it referred to the engine as the Legend. The previous GT500 supercharged 5.2 V8 produced 760 horse and 675 pound-feet of torque, and we expect the new GT500 to at least meet those benchmarks. So if they do go ahead and put a Coyote variant in there, what that means is dual overhead cam with, you know, a crank that'll fit a Coyote, cylinder heads that'll fit a Coyote, Coyote family, okay? It's Coyote family. Stop saying a GT500 engine is not a Coyote. Stop saying a Voodoo is not a Coyote. All parts are interchangeable. It's Coyote family, asshole. There's some Shelby guys that get mad when you tell them Coyote and they think GT. Like they go, GT. No, shithead, Coyote is the engine family. A GT350 has a Coyote engine family layout. Why? Because I can put a crossplane crank in a Voodoo block. I can put GT350 heads on a GT. I could put the cams and lock them and make them work. I could do whatever. It's all interchangeable. It's like LS based. And you start going, well, you know, LQ4, you know, Cathedral. Shut the fuck up. GT500 guys get so salty when you call the 2020 and up GT500 motor a Coyote, because it is a Coyote. It's Coyote family. So I don't know that they're going to put anything pushrod in there, but because it's a GT500, the only reason I think they would do something silly like that is because they don't have to meet mile per gallon standards. You know what I mean? Recently, the Trump administration took stuff like that away, where you don't have to meet super strict guidelines and you pay a gas guzzler tax anyway. The 5.2 does not meet fuel emissions, fuel mile per gallon standards, sorry. And you always had to pay, I think, a gas guzzler tax. And I don't know what they're going to do with this one. I can't imagine another 5.2 in there is going to be okay. A crossplane 5.2, I think that's kind of silly. I think it has to be different and special. And you should put at least a 5.5. Don't they have in their IMSA cars 5.5 liter Coyotes, if I'm not mistaken? Maybe one of you Schleckenbergs can tell me if the NA IMSA cars, the really, you know, good 500 plus horse ones, NA, have 5.5 liter Coyotes. And I think they do, to be honest with you. Someone says, watch it be a 5.0 with a Whipple on it. I don't think it'll be a 5.0 with a Whipple. Ford has never offered a vehicle from Ford with an aftermarket blower. It's always been an Eaton. And the Eaton rotor pack ends up on a proprietary case. M122, Trinity, Cobra, right? They never had a Whipple on anything. Whipple is an aftermarket company. And about the last thing that Ford wants is warranties for rotors rubbing. I'm sorry, I've just seen it too many times, and it's not a hate thing. It's the truth. See, I think I say the things that people know but don't want to say because they don't want to lose favor with said company or whatever. I think on-3 kits are shit and you shouldn't buy them. You want to put them on? Cool. Will they make power? Sure. If you reconfigure them to be basically a custom kit. Whipples are fine up to a point. If you want to get after it, I wouldn't use a Whipple. I'd use a TVS because I think it's just more better configured for drag racing. Look at what happened with Cleetus and his F-150. Once you go to a thimble pulley, shit's going to be a bad time. So I think if they end up doing something like a 5.5 liter Coyote, I think it'll be pretty good. I think it'll be something that you can play with. You know what I mean? So I got sent something, full stop. Moving on. I got sent something on my Alex Flores Facebook page, which I almost never go to, ever. But a gentleman sent me something. He goes, Alex, you got to watch this. I'm like, okay, what's going on? He goes, Cooper Baggetti was in there talking. And I'm like, well, I listened to it. I didn't feel some type of way. I think Cooper is just chiming in on things that are happening in the industry. And I'm like, okay, let's see what the homie has got to say. I'm trying to, how can I make this bigger so that y'all, oh, what the hell did he do? Whoa, what's it called? What's the video called? Where to post my videos? Okay, let me go to YouTube. And let me see where Baggetti. I guess it's Baggetti Studios. I should make a page called Schmoggetti Studios. How would that go? Let me see videos. Let's see where to post. No. All. Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't know where it is. I have no idea where to post my videos. My next project. Okay, 1 day ago. Okay. 1 hour. Oh my Lord. I am not going to watch this for 1 fucking hour. I got to see what the timestamp because fuck all that. So I guess he chimed in on the Kyle Loftus thing. And again, the story goes like this. I heard he was going to call his show Talking Shift. I had no issue with it. I said, good for him. Then he texted me. That's right. Kyle Loftus texted me and said, hey, I had no idea that you had a show. Okay. I had no idea you had a show called Talking Shit. Mine is called Talking Shift. And it's we're Gucci, right? And I said, no big deal. The nice thing to do would just be changing the name. And he said, and then he sent me like a woman sends me a long text, like a paragraph saying about like, well, yours was called Talking Shit, and then you started changing the name later on because of swear words. Mine is Talking Shift. So yeah, I'm not going to change it. And I went, okay, I guess it's war. Because I had no issue until you hit me up. So apparently Cooper went in there and chimed in on it, which, again, that's his right, but he's wrong on this one. 100% wrong. Let me see if I can find that part.
A script or anything. I just like high engagement
his
they're
voice.
making is whether it was a unique thought or not. It was too simple.
Here we go.
They are getting accused of stealing a name from a popular podcast. I don't know. I don't really think so. Honestly, I think
Really? Talking Shift and Talking Shit have no correlation, Cooper? Talking. Okay, so what if I make a channel called Schmoggetti Studios? And then I started gaining traction.
I think those two names are neither are so original that I would be like, wow. How could anybody you would have had to have heard the other name to think of that.
No shit. No shit. Mine was on for 5 years.
But maybe that's not the claim they're making. Maybe the claim that they're making is whether it was a unique thought or not, it was too similar. I don't know. But I feel like I would leave it. And I feel like both can coexist in this world together.
No, we can't, Cooper. You're either with me or against me. I had no issue with it initially until he texted me. Who the fuck gave him my number? By the way, there's only 2 motherfuckers in that camp that have my number, and you're one of them. Interesting.
They're happily ever after.
Fuck that.
But maybe not. I don't know. Maybe they'll just fight.
No. You don't have to not know. There is no coexisting with that motherfucker. We're at war, and the Amory is locked and loaded.
About it, and it could be a whole meme battle between the two, and everybody will just kiss and make up at the end.
Oh, he won. You, Cooper. Look at me. Wait. You need to look at me, Cooper. Cooper. You know he wants to kiss and make up. You know he wants to kiss and make up. Literally. So anyway, he decided to get involved in that, which I think was kind of, he could do whatever he wants. But he's wrong on this. He's 100% wrong on this. I don't care that you can name your YouTube channel Alejandro Flores Talking Shit. I don't care because people are, it'll work with the SEO. But if you're starting a podcast, I think, if I'm not mistaken, was I not the first guy that started doing this? I get it. VMP did it on Facebook, YouTube, and then I took it to the next level. But in terms of a podcast that took off, was I not the in terms of the car space? Was I not the first? So if I was the first, then why don't you name it anything else? The 1320 podcast. The 1320 totally original. We film people almost dying for clicks podcasts. Silly silly shit, but whatever. He can say whatever he wants. That's why that camp, I want nothing to do with it, because they all ride that deedle camp. Without the deedle sleedle derpada, that all the motherfuckers die. They're all eating off of that Cleetus tree. And if that tree goes away, they all go away. So that's why I don't live by the sword, and I don't want to die by the sword. Damn, sad to see Cooper go down like this. Look, I don't think he's going down. I just think he's like, yeah, they can all coexist. And no, we can't, bro. We can't. The guy literally called a show exactly like mine, minus one letter. One letter. Milwaukee front, the back tell you everything. At least he's not a DeWalt font. Exactly. Baggetti has no knowledge, just like Go South podcast. I'm not going to start saying that. You literally weren't worried about it until he contacted you. Exactly. I was not worried. He would have been fine. Oh, look, he's got a show called Talking Shift. That's cool. Then he hit me up. I'm like, why you hit me up? And then I said, since you hit me up, you're obviously worried about it. So because you hit me up, that means you're feeling some type of way about it, emotional. So the nice thing to do would just be to change the name. Oh, I'm not going to do that. Then why the fuck are you on my phone? Weirdo. He wants to see dudes kissing. It's war. Coop trying to hook y'all up or something. Yeah, I guarantee he's probably trying to pit me out like that. Dude, put a 2JZ in an American car. Yeah, who cares? He's going to put a Coyote in it now. And I'm like, here we go. Bro, COVID is over. Someone tell Cooper he can take his ass back into supercuts. Knowing Kyle, it's more kissing than making up. Mr. 6R80 says something that does not matter. Am I the only one that's never watched that guy? It's a difficult watch. I'll be honest. It's a very difficult watch. He's a nice guy. People make his show. Yeah, he doesn't make his show. People make his show. Like, just have Cleetus on every day. And that's how you're going to make it. I don't know what's more disrespectful. Him not having an opinion or him not naming you at all. That's interesting. That's an interesting angle, bullhead. Say my name. Say my name. Well, Alejandro Flores' podcast is, he said, a popular podcast. And I'm like, bro, come on, stop the bullshit. Shut the fuck up about RPG security. Exactly, right. I'm like, stop it. He wants to rub your guns. Rather, Cupid Schmagetti. Yes, Cupid Schmagetti podcast. And then they go, well, Alex, why'd you name why'd you name another show Cupid Schmagetti? What do you mean? They're different. Can't we coexist and kiss and make up? When he says kiss and make up, he really means it. Straight out of Springfield. I can't think of one. I think of one before you, Unc. You weren't the first car podcast out there. You might be the first Mustang for. Wait, okay, Mac Attack. Name anyone that did it like this. Name anyone that did it like this in the car space before me. Go. Not on a guy that got 3 downloads on Spotify. I'm saying got traction, got views, got, semi-popular in this space. Name any other one. Name them by name. Show me what they did and if they got traction or not. I don't think so. Bro wants to be you so emotionally invested. Bro wants you to be emotionally invested. Oh, yeah, no. The issue is that this was so avoidable on their end. It was so avoidable. All you have to do was like, my bad. I only got one episode out there. Let me switch it up called, Almost Dying People podcast. Got famous by watching guys that build cars and videoing them podcast. Go to Thailand and totally not bang Ladyboys podcast. Fuck out of here. Gender Swipes call off. This says, Alex, I'll say your name. Alejandro Flores. Oh, bro. Cleetus, Brandon, Maxi Pads coming. Cooper jealous of those calves. Everyone's jealous of the calves. They should call it Talking Queef. Bro went out of his way to contact you. I guess he wanted to see how you'd react once your attention so bad. Cooper Schmagetti podcast, right? Cooter Schmagetti, right? He wouldn't mind, right? It's all good. It's all Gucci, right? And then use the SEO that he puts, copy all of his hashtags and just use them on every single one of my shit and skim the SEO off of it. Come on, stop it. I wouldn't do that because I'm not that type of guy. Look, this industry, and the more you understand the industry, Head Games Motorworks probably won't admit this. Chuck Wazarinsky won't admit this. Parker won't admit this. All these people won't admit this. This industry attracts the biggest scumbags on the planet. It's the same people that gamble. It's the same people that have drug problems. This industry, this automotive performance and racing industry, is either run by engineers that are super smart or absolute dirtbags that want to go fast. There is no gray area. No gray area. Heisenberg says, say my name. This is almost different than lawn racing. Cupid hitting me with those love arrows. Do you feel in charge? No matter who builds them, the Coyote will never work because they think it's awesome to beat them off the limiter and shoot flames. So, I don't know about that. FFRE, if FFRE builds a Coyote at the top tier level, they're probably going to say, I would FFRE. And again, I don't know this. I'm just speculating based on the data. Backing the engine, right? Power by the hour won't warranty your transmission if it's not tuned by Lund. And that's smart on them. They're like, I'm sorry. Every single time we get a transmission from anybody else, the clutches are smoked. So then those tuners say, oh, take it to someone else. They don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And then the next transmission is smoked. The next transmission is smoked. But guess what? The shop doesn't mind because the shop simply keeps rebuilding transmissions and charges $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a pop. The tuner doesn't make changes to the tune because it rolls out, but it smokes the clutches. And then eventually that customer starts going, I'm going to go turbo 400. Perfect. Now tuning is out of his hands in terms of the transmission. It's just the engine and they're good. But in actuality, the tune is what's causing the transmission to get smoked. So when it comes to if Cooper does get a Coyote in the Camaro, if it's tuned by a competent person, I think he'll be fine. I think it'll run really good as long as he has a tight program on the thing. But because, I think 2Js are delicate, but not as delicate. Well, I think in terms of delicate, fully built Coyotes and fully built 2Js, non-billet, I think are similar in terms of how delicate they are. Don't call me crazy. What made you hate Cleetus? I remember back when he built that GT500, he got some parts and he shouted you out years and years ago. I don't hate him. His fans are gay and retarded. I don't hate him at all. He's a highly influential person. Seems to be a nice guy. I can't stand that fakery. So I'm like, okay, like acting like a clown and then doing this. And then look, he is basically making fun of redneck hillbillies being a rich guy, born rich, right? So I already have a problem with that. You know what I mean? Like, born rich, act like a dumbass redneck, gains traction because rednecks love it. Then rednecks don't realize he's not really like that, but he doesn't care. He'll just turn the switch on and off and talk normal, then talk deedle a derp. And I'm like, I can't do that. That's why I stopped doing YOLO douchebag stuff. I'm like, nah, I can't do that. This is going to be me because I just don't want to be a character. I don't want to be looked at as a clown, like entertain me clown, so I just didn't want to do that. But I didn't have a problem with him personally. He was a fine guy. The fans are psycho. They're psychotic. This guy will suck senior if you let him. I was in business to protect consumers and enthusiasts from scumbags in this industry, period. Change the name of your live every week to resemble someone else. 1320 only gets viewers profiting off of other people's misery. Chuck Wazarinsky says, not scared to admit it, right? You and I both know there's either rich motherfuckers or engineers or absolute fucking scumbags in this industry. So it kind of put a bad taste in my mouth for racing. Meaning, when you go to a big event, I hate to say it, there's a high probability that over 60 to 70% of the people at the track during that event are people you wouldn't trust, are people you wouldn't lend a hand to, are people you wouldn't want to fuck with. And I went, you know what? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Why am I participating, investing emotional equity and time and effort into an industry I don't like? As a tuner, I'll tune. It's my job. I get paid. I don't do this for passion. I do this for money. All right? If the lunch tomorrow said, we're going to pay you with parts, I'll quit. I do this for money. Plain and simple. This is for money. I don't care about anything else. And I'll do a good job. 1320 Didios blocked me on Instagram, says Salvador Cardenas. That's such woman behavior. It's the Scooper Alphagetti show, says D-Rock Fox. Chuck says, and I hate it. Every time a customer gets screwed, It just makes it harder for the legit shops to stay in business because another customer left the industry or left the platform, right? You right now probably have a motor over there that has a fucking pilot bushing in an automatic. And you're like, why does it have a pilot bushing in an automatic? I don't understand that. Bryson said, okay, Mac, but they do not do it like Alex, giving info over the platform, helping dudes with builds, FFR, free giveaways, etc. Alex is the first to have a platform like this. Yeah, like people don't like hearing that. They look, when people say giveaways, you know they're fleecing you. But people think that they're doing a good thing. You could just see right through that shit. Giveaways are a way of them making a quick $300,000. If you like 100,000 people buy shit. So only FFRE and Ford. Yes, nobody else. Nobody else. I'm telling you, I don't care about anyone else in terms of building motors unless it's Ford Illuminators or FFRE. Now, you have RPG, you have MMR, you have L&M, and you have MPR. You can use those. You can use those guys all you want. Alejandro Flores, some nobody, some dumb Puerto Rican in a tutu on Blue Heron, apparently, does not recommend anything but Ford up to 1,000 and FFRE above that. That's it. Mr. Craig Walls, Bill Noonan in the house. Head games. I would agree. And some people who are popular don't know shit. It's a blind leading the blind. You know what's funny, Head Games Motorworks? I saw a video that you sent me that was very eye-opening. So I'm trying not to give too much of it away, but that was the first time I saw someone that is not an expert on that platform talk about that platform. I go, why are you talking about that platform? You are not an expert on that platform. So they used someone else to make it seem like he is the preeminent expert on that platform. And I'm like, that's interesting. I would never do that. I would never go over to another platform like a 2JZ or like a Demon Hellcat platform and start talking about it like I know everything. You know, like from a place of authority. I would never do that. I'd be humble as fuck about it. Omar Salam says, so the S650 is never tunable. Well, there's been rumblings that it might become tunable, but there's nothing concrete. And I said if it's not tunable by the first quarter, came and went. First quarter, came and went. I wouldn't count on it being tunable by the end of the year. I mean, Emery kind of gay at times, but it's okay. Gotcha. Cooper's tight with Brett, Jim, and Joe. He'll treat that Coyote right if he ever swaps it in. Only one other F-body Coyote swap that I know of, and it was a tube frame front end and never saw. Yeah, but that doesn't mean, just because he's tight with those guys doesn't mean that they're like in his pits. You know what I mean? Like they're probably like helping him out, but like who's tuning it? Who's, stuff like that. Again, I don't want to have anything to do with it, and I'm no expert, but like he'll do well if he has the right people around him with a Coyote in it. Calm down, Bryson. It's not really that important. It kind of reminds me of GoSoft podcast situation. Same, but different. What's happening here? This guy, 1000 King Snake. He's a stan. He's like Tony Full Bolt On. And I'm not Mexican. We kind of are. Don't forget Texas Speed. Yeah, no, look. You can get your motor built by anybody you want. I don't care. All I need is you guys that listen to me. You want to make up to 1,000 Illuminator, above that FFRE. And if you don't want to go that route, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Alex, what are your thoughts on buying used Coyote engine? Do you think you're better off getting a used motor or paying more? Used, well, look, if it passes the leak down in a compression test, right out, right? But then the problem is the chains, the guides, the tensioners, the phasers, the cams, what were the oil change intervals? I would never, and you guys are going to hate me for saying this, but I would never buy a used F-150 Coyote. Why? That thing was towing shit. Those guys were not putting 93 in it. Those guys weren't putting flex fuel in it. They were putting 87 octane in it, towing a boat, idling forever. I would never buy a used Gen 2 or Gen 3 F-150 motor. I'd rather get a Mustang motor just because I think it's been less beat up. 1320 Nut Huggers coming out of the woodworks today. Look, they're watching. Nobody's watching them. Fuck the S650 and its tuning. It's over. Johnny, I agree 100%. Another one bites. It does. He's Tony Full Bolt On. I bet. Look, there are people that are mentally ill out there, and people like that's what like a lot of the fan base, the Cleetus' fan base are mentally ill. They think it's like wrestling. Remember that guy who said it's still real to me? Damn it. Remember that? Let me see. There are people that would be amazed if they caught somebody at dinner and they're like, "What's up, man? What's up? Skeedle deedle derp derp." And then you're like, no, man, I'm just here with my wife and kids and I'm just hanging out. What? You're not going to give me a skeedle deedle derp? What the fuck is wrong with you? It's still real to me, damn it. Yeah, here you go. It's still real to me, damn it. Yeah. This is the best clip ever. It's a wrestling guy and he believes everything. And
Next question, Jeff. Where are you? Right there.
Yeah. I just want to thank each and every one of y'all for all you've done to your bodies. It's still real to me, damn it. I mean, thank you. Easy, man. Thank y'all, guys.
He actually thought that Hulk Hogan flipped. He actually thought that, Hulk Hogan turned heel. Like, for real. It's like there are people that believe it. The guy that yelled Buenos Dias to people, they yell it to them. And I'm like, okay, now if you're under 17 years old, totally fine. Not a problem. If you're under 17 years old, you get a pass for being a fan. But if you're above 18 and you're still acting like that, I got nothing for you. Jacob Haggard says, how about instead of cutting keys to build engines, we just take the keys off for weight reduction. Boom, I can build engines now. That guy and I were talking tonight about how to make you a believer. Get something in your hands. That guy and I were talking tonight about how to make you a believer. What are you talking about? Make me a believer in what? The 2J? What the fuck are you talking about? Head games. Okay, good. The trifling, what a mark. Oh my God, that's Jim Cornette. Alex, now that there's a new GT500, do you think staying mode will put the clerical collar back in the glass case? I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. I got he's a priest or something, right? Yeah, okay. Found a 2.3 Roush complete kit for $2,500. Gen 1 or Gen 2 Roush? Joker's is like an hour drive from me. Said $750 to $1,250 for a rebuild. Do you think this is a good deal? Yes, if it's a Gen 2. If it's a Gen 1, it's still a good deal if it's a complete kit. I hope that was acting. No, he was legit real. Been to 2 Dragon Drives with Cleetus, and Alex, you're right. Terry Scott, give me more context, if you don't mind. Again, I don't want it to be the trash Cleetus show because I like him as a person. The shtick is something I don't want to be involved with. That's all. And the fans are psycho. Flip that hat, YOLO. Exactly. Flip your hat. Could you imagine? Could you imagine someone said that? Could you imagine if someone said to me, flip your hat? I yelled at a guy. Some guy called me fuckface. And I was like, because I was knee deep in the YOLO stuff. And I was like, what the fuck did you say? And he was like, oh, you think you could just call me a fuckface? And I went, oh. These people think they think I'm in their head. They think I know what they think I know what they're thinking. They think that they know me. Oh, I did this. This is my fault. Turn off YOLO douchebag. Done with that shit because I don't want to be in that world. I enjoy watching them, but you won't catch me at an event. Just like reggae music, you won't catch me at a concert. That guy referencing the video you watch from Head Games, I think. But he was talking to him. I thought they hate each other. I met him at a Rocky Mountain Race Weekend once, and none of the persona was there when he was working on Leroy, so I certainly agree. Joker's helped me a good place for my experience. Just off work, leaving catch the replay later. I'm convinced a lot of these YouTubers blow up their motors for clicks. When I blew up my motor, I could have filmed it. but I didn't. I filmed the aftermath, right? I filmed the aftermath of the car getting up on the lift, and then the subsequent, deconstruction of the motor. And then it went off. It was gone for like fucking 6 months. $12,000 later, I got a motor that was a dud back that had cut keys and keys that had a bunch of slack in it. And I'm like, and then it had no compression. It had nothing. And I'm like, I got a dud motor. So I said, you know what? Let me just cut my losses. Sold the motor. Got an illuminator in there. It's running good. So, fingers crossed. So far, so good. But the clickbaity thing, I could have done a lot of things for clickbait per se, but I just don't want to be that kind of channel. And I'm not saying I'm better than the channels that do it. What I'm saying is I just don't want to be that type of channel. I want to be a little different. I want to be more genuine than clickbaity. Like if my car's on fire, I'm not going to stick a phone in front of it while trying to put it out with water with my right hand. I would put the fire out and be done with it. MK4 Geo. Not Gen 1, I should say. I would swap in a Gen 2 block with rods and pistons just to have that peace of mind S197. What are you doing? Why not? Why a Gen 2 block? Why not a Gen 1 block? See, I don't know the thought process. I don't know what you're trying to do. I don't know what your head is, where your head is at. Like, do you think a Gen 1 block is bad? Let me just not even go there. Because this is going to be a rabbit hole. Because when someone says, well, I'm going to build a Gen 2 block, why don't you build a Gen 1 Coyote block? Tell me exactly what's better on a Gen 2 block than a Gen 1 block. Go. Arguably, it's worse to build a Gen 2 block for one reason and one reason only. Maybe one of you guys could chime in on why. First Gen 2.3. Says it spins fine, but has slight grab in one spot. I don't know. Maybe I was confused as to which video I sent. You sent me a video where a guy was talking shit on you. So I can't imagine you and him are talking. That is true, Jason. I live in the Lower Valley, Washington, 85, 3 tons away. The fans are a little overwhelming around his area. Are we not going to mention Cleetus finished 10th in an ARCA race on 7 cylinders? He's a wheelman. No, because I don't care. Bullhead. This channel's not for you. You're a fan of his. You should watch his stuff. This channel's not for you. It's just not. If you're trying to crowbar him into every conversation, and the fact that we're talking about him at all is interesting. The reason we are is because Cooper talked about me, and Cooper is on this planet basically because of Cleetus. So I'm just like, okay, and so's 1320, let's be honest. So I'm like, I don't want to live off of that thing at all. I don't want to kumbaya with any of that camp. Bullhead, this channel's not for you. You should go to another channel and have fun, but this channel's not for you. On 93 and Alex, Lund don't recommend more than 10 psi at around 670. Gotcha. This is a professional channel, right? MK4 Joe says, oh, I say that Alex says I don't have E85 on me. Alex, please chill on me. Chill on you? At the gym doing my weight reduction, I will watch later. 11 to 12 block is greater than the 13, 14, any Gen 2 block. Right. Why? We're talking blocks here. Chuck, why? No, not rods. We're talking blocks. God, do people still think blocks have rods in them? That's a short block. Maybe you guys don't know this, and I can't believe I'm about to say this. A short block has pistons, rods, and a crank. A long block has that and cylinder heads. A block is just a block. Nothing in it. Head studs. There you go. Head studs. I think they're 12 millimeter head studs on a Gen 1, and a Gen 2 is 11 millimeter, I think. Yes, head bolts, exactly. Gen 1 is 12 millimeter. Yep, exactly. He's new here, Alex. Chill, uncle. He's already dead. No, I want to make sure. That. Because, okay, if you're new here, this is what you should have said. Alex, which block should I build? But you went, well, I'm going to get a Gen 2 block and throw rods and pistons in it. Why? Why? We would rather watch Turvey's channel instead of a Cleetus shit. Exactly. Head studs, exactly. Friday says, those guys that got V10 Continental pushing 650 to 490 torque, seeing that kind of achievement makes me even more disappointed on where Farley can do it come forward potential. What? So did they actually dyno the thing, or was it an engine dyno? I don't know. I'd like to know. Yep, head studs. It has bigger, Gen 1 has bigger head studs, and I think Gen 3 went back to 12 millimeter. Or bolts, whatever. Something about the earlier blocks having more webbing, I don't know. No, not just the 12 millimeter studs, but the 12 millimeter studs go deep. That's right. They go deep into the block, whereas if you want the better clamping force on the Gen 2, you got to do some machining work. You don't have to, but if you want it to be as good as Gen 1 clamping force, you got to drill it deeper, tap it. For bigger stuff, it's like just get a Gen 1 block at that point. If you're really on a budget, just slap Gen 2 rods in a Gen 1 block. Oh my God, that just sounds so stupid. Just slam. That sounds ridiculous. Thicker sleeves and no oil bosses in the block is the head stud holes. Turvy is like the authentic version of the redneck Cleetus makes fun of. I think Turvy is so authentic, and that's why I like Turvy. Turvy does not act like a different person. I'm me. I'm me here. This is me. This is the real me. When you see me at the track, this is how I'm going to talk to you. Okay? I'm not going to act like a different person just to garner attention or get clicks. That's just not what I do and not what I want to do. And I think Turvy is more authentic than most. Alice, what do you recommend for a higher flow injector over my current FIC 1000s ID 1300Xs or ID 1750? I'm done recommending any other brand. I have been thrusted into doing nothing but boosted combos, okay? That's what I do now. And my God, you swap guys just blow my fucking mind. You swap guys spend $10,000 on paint, fucking $8,000 on wheels, $18,000 on a fucking chassis, and then you make the cold air the biggest piece of shit ever. Spectre, Holly, junk. And I'm like, you damn near got $100,000 in this build, and you have this piece of shit for a cold air? This is why. They don't understand how this engine works. They don't understand how a MAF signal works. It's like every single swap guy I see always has an issue with the mass airflow sensor. And every guy that wants to buy a grill, an aftermarket grill on a Whipple or any cold air intake that's in the engine bay, wonders why the car drives like shit after you have a grill or a ram air intake on the thing. And I'm just blown away by that. Blown away, especially swap guys that spend $18,000 on a fucking chassis. They spend $300 on a cold air and don't shield it. Man, it's unbelievable. So the weakest Coyote is the best one. Yes, in terms of blocks. They dynoed the car. Okay, well, what is it? Build it yourself or something? Build it yourself? They dynoed the car? Bro, let's watch that. I like that. There it is. V10 swap Lincoln Continental hits the dyno 3 hours ago.
Hey, guys.
Yeah, all right. Look at that. It's so new that they haven't even processed yet. It's still grainy and shit. Let me see. Oh, my Lord, guys. Let's get 1080 going. Let's just get to the meat of it. I don't want to sit there and watch this whole thing. Where are they tuning it? Looks like it's up in Massachusetts. Listen to that thing rumble, brother.
There we go.
Since we're running a coil-on-plug ignition system, getting a clean and reliable signal for the tachometer proved to be a challenge. Instead of relying on a direct engine RPM signal, they used Dyno.
Yeah, dyno roll. So you can do RPM in 1-to-1 gear ratio. So this is what we do when we have a bad signal on the coil. You put it in 1-to-1 gear, and then you configure the dyno so that the dyno tach matches the RPM of the vehicle in the 1-to-1 gear ratio, and you get a pretty accurate signal.
No drum speed.
Drum speed, right?
What you're seeing here is the process of calibrating that tachometer, using the wheel speed data in the test gear to correlate to the engine RPMs in real time.
Yeah, 2,000. Oh, I'm good. Is this the VMP dyno? No, it's Rhino something. Broke up a little bit up top, but it sounded good. Is it on E85?
453, all right, so it's consistent. it. Good. Now sport.
You said 600. What happened? Okay, 491. Check the plugs. Let's see. Where the fuck did you... Where the hell did you see 600, man? So 495, 402. I mean, very cool. But if power was the goal, probably you shouldn't have gone that route. You know what I'm saying? Let me go back and see, because you said it made, well, how much? Let me see. I'm going to go find your shit because I can't imagine. Those guys got that V10 Continental pushing 650 to 490 torque. What the fuck were you watching? What the hell are you watching? It's 495. That's Cobra Jet cams, CJ65 and a PMAS, and E85 on a Coyote. Nothing against that, very cool, but in terms of power, it needs boost. It needs a lot of boost. he said 650. 650. Does the guy in the video have a number 1 neck tattoo by the chance? I had a rough intake. You mean Roush? And then a Steeda intake on my 3rd GT, then went turbo, built motor, and it still lives. Daunting Fastback says I had problems on my Gen 3 swap because the only intake I could fit in there would ended up being a 90mm MAF. Had to buy a PBH DIY kit and to solve my issues. Bro, that's where I dynoed my car. The dude hardly knew what he was doing besides clamping the car. Do you think do-it-yourself car build yourself and ask them to change their name? Do you think do-it-yourself called build it yourself and, and ask them to change the name? 491 to the tire was their best number. Yeah, like, come on, 600 behind the spine. Right, when he said 600, I'm like, is it on the 85? Because, shit, their exhaust sounds way too restrictive. They did it on purpose. They made, okay, that project is not going to be a project that runs amazing times. That project is an engineering project. They made a V10. That is amazing. 4-valve V10. I mean, the Triton V10 is a 2-valve. Did they ever make a 3-valve V10? Not sure. But 4-valve V10, crazy exhaust, in a Lincoln Continental, rear-wheel drive, cool. That project was never meant to, like, run a number, right? Right? Like, those guys are the engineering side of this industry. You understand what I'm saying? Those guys get off on making something cool, engineering-minded. The other side would steal a motor, buy 3 motors and 3 transmissions, ship it to Brazil, charge it back, ship it back, like crazy stuff. Stop it. He didn't make that much. Gotcha. Put a Sentry on it with sunglass. Damn, 600 must be missing the octanium. If power was the goal, they missed it. Need a Sentry. That dyno has STDs. Aspirin. It was crank horsepower, Alex. Relax. Crank horsepower, he said. Crank horsepower. Nope. Stop. Crank horsepower. Considering the heads are Cobra heads welded together, not sure is boost that great of an idea for a V10. 610, HO, and 495 to the wheels. What a huge damn drivetrain loss. Who the fuck said it makes 610 to the crank? Who the hell said it made 610 to the crank? That's like way more than 15%. They estimated in the video 600 behind the balls crank. Stop it.
102 torque. So, you know, there's a couple things we can take away from this.
Whoa. This is not how we do it, guys. I love you. The car made 495 wheel. That's how we do it. Okay? And it is not 18% drivetrain loss on an MT82. It's 15% drivetrain loss. This car's making about 550 horsepower. Let me get my calculator out. Oh, my Lord. Stop it. Calculator. Love you guys. You're crazy for saying that. So we got 600 times. So if we do 5% drivetrain loss, 15% drivetrain loss, it would show 510 rear wheel horsepower. So because in actuality, you made, let's say 580, boom, 580, boom, 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 times, that's right. So you made about 580 behind the asshole power. So I love you guys. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's why this industry fucking sucks, because people do shit like that. And people believe it. People believe it. Oh, it's about 600 horse because 18%, it's about 600. No. Your car made 495 rear wheel horsepower. That's what your car made. None of this behind the asshole. We do not measure behind the asshole exactly, because he said it was 600. And I was like, ain't no way it's 600. Because I measure, I measure my dick right at the base. Right at the base. 1,000 horsepower snake would love to see it. Would love to see it. And your girl. And your mom would love to see it. But that guy's measuring behind the spine. That's not going to work. That's not going to work here. They could have used Coyote heads. Why are we talking about a 500 horsepower car? That's like weighing yourself at 350 pounds and saying your weight is 225 without clothes on. A lot of that work to make the same horsepower as a bolt-on E85 Gen 3. That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at. What are your goals? Like, what are your goals? Please, before you start a project, like Mr. Gio was like, I'm going to get a Gen 2 block and throw rods and pistons in it. I'm like, why a Gen 2 block? Where'd you hear that? He must have heard somewhere that a Gen 2 block was better, right? So what's going to happen because of that video? 600 gooch powers, right? That's pretty good. What's going to happen because of the Build It Yourself channel video that we just saw? Some dickhead is going to go, oh, they made 600 horsepower. That's amazing. Then they're going to go to the track and it's going to run 13.2 at 108. And they're going to go, what the fuck happened? I thought it made 600 horsepower. Yeah, no. Behind my taint. So yeah, stop doing that. Don't even mention crank horsepower. Nobody mentions crank horsepower. We do rear wheel horsepower. That car made 495. Keep it at that. My God. People like being different. Wow. Leave the mamas out of this. Hey, no. 1,000 Snake want to talk that shit. I'll give this bitch up to his mom, sister, wife, whatever the fuck he wants. So we personally talked to Tony from HP at Mustang Week this weekend. And in more words or less, he said we'll probably never get 24 and up Mustang tuning. Yeah. I would take him at his word on that one, because there is nothing over the horizon. Nothing. Not even a blip on the radar. Remember, guys, Corvette took 2 years, C8, to unlock. 2 years to unlock. So I've learned so much. I was sitting off this live in 15 minutes. Hey, you got it, brother. Damn, 20 horsepower less? Who tuned that, Ken? Brother. Clevelands are cool if you like heating issues. If you like, push rod engines that run hot, get yourself a fucking Cleveland. My goals are badass manual car that can beat most things on the street. What gen? Fuck. On the street. Manual? Probably a Gen 1. My GT500 feels noticeably quicker than any of my Gen 2s or Gen 3s. Like, it feels ZR1 fast. You know what I mean? It is ZR1 fast. And it's stable. And it's a stick shift car. 373s, T56 Magnum XL. About 7, it probably makes 750, 770 horse right now. Nothing crazy, nothing spectacular. So I would say that a Gen 1 built with a, let's say, Gen 3 bottom end, Gen 2 heads, Gen 1 timing system, comp cam stage 3s, a TVS or turbos, whatever the hell you want to do. If I was going to build a stick shift street car, I would build it like I'm building my GT500 for sure. Oh my God, everyone exploded. The new GT500 is going to start at $85,000. It's going to start at $150,000. Sometimes doing something more fulfilling than building another boring 600 horsepower Coyote. Yeah, okay. Look, at the end of the day, this is what's going to happen with those guys. Very cool. Fantastic build. When a Gen 3 Mustang shows up and you roll race it and it waxes you, you're going to go, maybe I shouldn't have done that. It makes the same as a stock 11 to 12 GT500. Anytime I hear a person in the shop talk crank horsepower, I immediately disregard them. That's like someone else trying to tell you that he weighs 215. Oh, come on, the fat jokes. Gooch powers, that's some great inside baseball. So, Alex, you see no potential in the V10 Continental? Okay, what's the compression ratio on that Cobra motor? I hope it's 10 or 11 to 1. It only made 495. So it's either really low compression or has really bad fuel. A V10? Well, for context, but it's a dual overhead cam V10, guys. I get it. It was built by some guys in the garage. Look, I don't want to take away anything from those guys. It is an amazing project. But then you got to stop and think, what did we build here? 10-4, thank you. Is it more of a government thing with emissions or a Ford thing? Ford. It's a Ford thing. Ford says that in order to get into the modules, which supposedly protect you from being hacked, they're not going to open it up for anyone else to tune it except Ed and Whipple. Alex, has the C8 trans computer been unlocked? Nope. Same thing. Just the engine. So we know the 24 is a dud. Will the nut huggers finally admit it if tuning never comes out? No. They'll never admit that I'm right. Guys, I called it a dud from the get-go. Nobody in this industry will say I'm right. And then worst selling Mustang in history, 2025 Mustang is selling less than the 2024 Mustang. Guys, this is probably the last Mustang run if it keeps going like that. Gen 1, lightweight, easier on the manual, trans fluid, turbo kit, let's go. Exactly. I would say Gen 1, manual TVS, 2300 if you want a fast manual on the street and be consistent. Alex, is the tuner I can't have, says Alexi Gomez. After I'm max out effort NA, I don't know if I want to go turbo or blower. Depends on what your goals are. I have a 2022 Gen 3. I want to make around 650 wheel horsepower eventually. Any recommendations? Any blower at 10 PSI on a manual. Any blower, Paxton, ESS, Vortec, 2650, Whipple, E-Force, any of them at 10 or 11 PSI, you make 650. When you recommend cleaning your injectors and changing your spark plugs on an 800 horsepower car that you use for the weekends and you tend to get on it a lot? Once a year? Once a year? If you only use it on the weekends as an 800 horsepower car, once a year. Not a bad idea to do. You don't drive it enough for it to matter. The V10 has truck cams in it probably. Vipers don't make much NA either. Yeah, you're right. 600. 600. So what's wheel on a Viper? How much horsepower? Let me see. Stock Gen 5 Viper horsepower dyno. We're comparing V10s. Here we go. So this is a Gen 5 Viper. What the fuck? Really? Really? You're not going to show the fucking number? Wow. What a complete waste of time video. Good job. Wow. Tuned? No. Gen 5 Viper on dyno. Wow. You're not going to show the power, are you? Nope. Fuck you guys. Why would you post that? Fucking retards. Stock Viper on the dyno. Here we go. Fuck me. No, I just want to see power. No power. Who the fuck does that? Who? Wow. Let me just ask Google. How much rear wheel horsepower does a Gen 5 Viper make? 500 to 530. So it's about there. It's 645 at 6200. So yeah, so 500 to 530. So they make as much power as a V10 Viper. So I guess if you put it in that context, it's not that bad, right? Right? It's not that bad if you put it in that context. So they built a motor that's, as powerful as a Viper motor. And I'm sure if they get E85 in it, So at the end of the day, It's not terrible, and I don't want to take away from them. I don't want them to think I'm criticizing. They did an amazing thing, but for the power, I don't know. Matt Marcotte says, thanks for getting my car running good deal. Whenever you want car paint corrected, hit me up and I'll get you taken care of. I own a detailing shop in West Palm Beach. Yeah, right now, Matt Marcotte, right now. The GT500 needs touch-up paint on the bumper, a bunch of little things all over the place. It deserves it right now. It's running really good. So Matt Marcotte, email me, ydbt4life@gmail.com. I'll drop off the car. You do the thing. We negotiate. Shh. What car did I tune for you? I don't remember. 16 GT has a 350 intake, manifold, and throttle body swap, and is experiencing an issue of wide open throttle, falls on its face, severe power loss, and no check engine lights. Log it, send it to your tuner. 500 horsepower custom engine, 1 of 1. Thanks. What if it's a 10 or 80? What's happening? Headgame says, but we make 3,500 wheel horsepower on a Viper. Nothing else besides the Lambo that has much. Nothing else but the Lambo has that much potential. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, we're talking again, in what context? You can't just say we make 3,500 horsepower on a Viper. You and I both know that's not a stock motor. You and I both know that's not a stock rod and piston. Again, we have to have context. And the context is the V10 Cobra build motor off of the BYD channel, the Build It Yourself BYD? Build BID? Whatever. Build It Yourself channel. I think stock for stock, quote unquote, build for build, it's pretty good if it's making Viper numbers. Doug N says, I watched a Piston and Rods Gen 1 Mustang with slicks run back-to-back 13s at the track over the weekend. BIY is V10. Is on the 85, the tuner on the dyno said fuel pressure is going down at 5K. They said they need injector and fuel pump. That makes sense, but what injector's in there? Yeah. Hey, Alex, I'm looking to get a 69mm pulley in a Roush 2.3. Boy, the party pulley. I had a B&P and they're just trying to sell me a bunch of stuff, more rib kits, idler pulleys. What do you recommend? Okay. If you have a 6 rib, the chances of you having belt slip is high, unless you have a very good tensioner system. Now, you might be able to get away with a stock lower, 100mm idler, 6 rib 69mm for a little while, but eventually I think you're going to start experiencing belt slip. So you're going to go get a carbon belt or a green belt to remedy the issues. What they're trying to do is they're trying to upsell you to an 8 rib kit or a 10 rib kit so that you have more of a footprint on the pulley. Because if you only have 2 fingers on the pulley, you'd rather have more fingers on the pulley. You know what I mean? So 6 rib is 2 fingers on the pulley. 10 rib is your whole hand on the pulley, pushing it so you can, have more grip or more, not more belt wrap. Belt wrap and pulley width have nothing to do with each other. But they're probably trying to sell you like a bomber bracket that has more belt wrap. They're probably trying to sell you an 8 rib or 10 rib upgrade. Honestly, I would just buy a Grip Tech 6 rib. Literally call Grip Tech and say, I want a, Roush Supercharger 69mm pulley 6 rib. And then put it on and see but that's what I have on mine. I have a 2.7 pulley, and the 2.7 pulley is a Grip Tech pulley, and it's 6 rib, and the car ran a 5-second 60 to 130. D&H Performance is where we order parts. Exactly. So maybe Grip Tech has them, or D&H Performance has them. D&H Performance, I'm pretty sure, has the Grip Tech stuff there. Alex, check your email before I have to keep edging. Are you being serious? There's no email. You fucking liar. Oh, there is an email. What's this? That's good. I don't know who that is, but it's funny. It's very funny. I genuinely don't know who that is, but he's pretty funny. 2020 Whipple with fuel pump issue. Exactly. What about 421 Coyote? Built a Gen 1 with boost. What about a 421 Coyote? What's the advantage of building a Gen 4 over a Gen 3, over a Gen 2? Tell me. Explain it to me like I'm retarded. Do you think the Gen 4 is better than the Gen 3? If so, why? Oh, you don't know? Then why are you even mentioning it? I love Grip Tech line of pulleys. Jackpot, you're way in the weeds, bro. I don't like giving her more than 2 fingers. What are we talking about? Again, Dina has Grip Tech. Good. Dina has Grip Tech. Hit up DinaHaPerformance.com. Mention the show. They'll probably give you a break on the price. Just got a Model 3. Hands on the best daily driver you can get. Absolutely. Look, absolutely. I've always said that if I need a car to tool around town, a Model 3 performance would be awesome. Or Model S plaids are like in the $50,000 range now. But, you know, I'm good. I have a lot of projects. I don't need to get into a house, to be honest with you. Like I was thinking about it again today, but I'm like, I just need a garage. I need a house. I need a garage. That's what I need, a big one. My living situation's fine. Jacob Haggard says, they have forged rotating assembly in the V10 they built. They put aggressive cams in it, and I'm unfamiliar with has catalytic converters or not. From the sound, it does not. Alex, why not a 643 Coyote? Right. What the fuck is happening? Gen 4 is the same bottom end as Gen 3. Guy pulled it apart and showed that already. All the water passages aren't the same on Gen 4 and the rest of it. Alex, what do you think about the sprocket belts and pulleys that people run because of big power and belt slip? I always thought it looked funny. Don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about? Alex, what do you think of those sprocket belts? Sprocket belts? Don't know what you're talking about. Do you mean like a cog drive? You're talking about a cog drive? Yeah, there's like literally no slip there, but it's also noisy. I haven't met a cog-driven setup on a Coyote would sound ridiculous and annoying. What's a cog setup? So, I think what he's talking about is this. Belt, gear looking. Cog drive setup. Yeah, this is what he's talking about.
Hey guys, Kyle Millen here with Stillin, and today I want to talk a little bit about how to know.
There.
Now you no longer.
So basically a, gear drive setup. There's good and bad. You know what? I'll be honest with you. On a rubber belt, I don't think it'll be that noisy. So, I wonder why Coyotes don't do this to cure belt slip.
Need to get a wrench down the backside in between the.
Because the pulley can be narrow. The belt, you can find these belts anywhere. It's probably pretty strong. These are the same belts that are on oil pumps, right? Oil pumps like meth oil and oil / fuel pumps, like Peterson shit. So yeah, I've thought about it, but not that much. Now, the probability of the crank snapping goes way up in something like that. Goes way, 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 way up. Alexi Gomez, what's up, brother? Matt VMP owner, Mustang Week, he's definitely a little feminine seeming. Oh my God, stop it. Alex, have you done el 72? El 72, el 69 con tres dedos. Right? Yes, the 72 with the set when you do 69 with 3 fingers, that's the 72. Barnuminium, yeah, you can't build the barnuminium here. I don't mind buying something like a big garage, but like that's $1 million here. Selling my Whipple regular cab for plaid and the best move I ever made. Extremely happy, says Shannon Dugan. Just live in the garage. I don't want to live in a garage. Yeah, I see some of your videos. I was like, damn, that garage is tight. Well, I have 3 of them. So that's kind of the only reason they're decent. Hey, what's up, Kyle Brandon? Parker Go Lightly, and I are finishing up his 89 ceiling that is Coyote swap with the VMP blower. Hopefully we'll be done soon. Just need some tuning upon completion. What the fuck was wrong with that car? That car has been sitting for about 10 years. Like, it was running. What happened? How much is it to rent a garage near you? The ones with lifts already installed, $5,000 a month. Jake's garage was 2 bay. He paid over $5,000 a month. No, thank you. Gen 4, bottom end with any previous generation head, you would give you the ability to tune it, actually test. Who cares? I'm bored. I'm bored with that conversation. What about cogs? Kyle from 1320 is asking. Ribbed, Kyle loves that. No cog drive with manual transmission. There was a Camaro with one in American Muscle Show that had one built. It was a 3-belt total belt set up, included the cog belt. Seemed like a lot to go wrong. Zimbabwe champion. Isn't the issue with the cog have to do with the stress on the supercharger bearings? I'm probably wrong. Thought I heard that somewhere. I think the probability of you ripping a crank up goes up with a cog drive because like it needs to slip a little, especially on decel and stuff. It needs to slip a little. Yeah, Parker's car was cool. Parker was a Louisiana guy. Is a Louisiana guy. I met him at in Houston. Had a Coyote swap Celine back in like 2015, but like he just like lost. Maybe he lost. What did he lose motivation? Go through a divorce, something like that? Yeah. Tres dedos, qué rico, says Alexi Gomez. The only downside. Okay, are you a woman or a guy, Alexi? Only downside would be having to have a cog pulley on the other accessories, but I can't imagine that's an actual issue. What do you mean, el verga larga? The rear sheath only has one accessory. That's the supercharger. Unless you add a air conditioner, but I don't have an air conditioner on this car. I have a buddy with a 10-speed that he talks like it's a God transmission. Why do 10-speed God talks like that? Because they don't know shit about cars. The 10-speed is a piece of shit. But the problem is, again, misinformation in the industry. That 10-speed the truth. That 10-speed the truth. Oh, this and that. No. It's good under 900 horse. Above that, you smoke that bitch. Move to Hernando, Theo. Fuck that. Fuck that. Parker, you want me to go through depression? Hardcore depression. Moving to Hernando County, you'll do it ASAP. ASAP. Hernando County, I will have depression. You seen the women up there? Brooksville, he said. Bro, I drove that way. I'm like, fuck all this. No way. I will literally off myself if I have to live up there. Oh my, get out here, Alexi. Sorry, I'm late. I was working overtime, says Jason. Zimbabwe said, yeah, that's what I heard. It needs a slip a bit on D-cell. I remember Cobra's having issues with the F1A Pro Charger back in the day. The O3 Cobra's had a conversation of cog system, but it is very rare, probably for a good reason. 10-speeder trash. I own one. Look, there is a con happening out there. A shop generally is not going to tell you the 10-speeds are trash if they build them. You know what I mean? They say, these are fine. These are fine because they want the comeback. They know it's a transmission that performs well until it doesn't. And then they can rebuild it. So now you are stuck in a causality loop, like the episode where Data, by the way, you know, the episode where Data was stuck in a causality loop. And the only way he got out of it was by sending himself a clue to the next loop that his suggestion was wrong. 10R80 guys are going to be stuck in that loop. This is what's going to happen. Stock runs fine, no problem. Then you put an ESS on it, 1050Xs, return fuel system, and now you're going to get after it. Okay. And then it's going to flare on the 4-5 shift. Oh, it flared. You sent me a log and it went all the way to 8,500 RPMs. And you're like, well, Alex, shift it lower. No, asshole, you don't get it. I'm commanding it at 7,200. So it's just blowing away the shift. You have a trans issue. I can falsely lower it, but I'm just chasing my tail and hacking around a mechanical issue. So then you're going to go, all right, fine. I'm going to send it to a transmission shop to get it built. Transmission shop charges you $5,000 for clutches because that's really all you can do on those transmissions. Maybe they do a E-drum. Maybe they do more clutches on the E-drum. They convince you. So now you got $6,800 into it. And then you're like, well, while I'm in there, I'm going to put a Circle D converter at the same time and a Suncoast valve body. And then you get in it. You ask for a tune for a built transmission and that valve body. And the car drives like butt cheeks. Ooh, because the torque converter is now flashing it at a higher RPM. You barely feel the shifts. And then the lockup is more pronounced. So you think there's an issue. And then you go wide open throttle and it shifts really good once. And then you go do it again and it doesn't shift that good. So then you hit me up and I say, do a trans relearn. Oh shit, a trans relearn fixed everything. 2 days later, starts flaring again. Do a trans relearn. Do a trans relearn. Do a trans relearn. Oh, it's starting to flare again after 6 months. Get ready for another $6,800 bill. That's the problem. And then you go, I either get rid of this car or I get a Turbo 400. Once you get a Turbo 400, that is now not a car you want to drive a lot because it's Turbo 400. So this is like the story of every single ESS 10R80 owner ever. Emery always listening to learn and learning. Alex, you're the best before Hemi. Okay. 10R Slippy is the Groundhog Day transmission. Exactly. I tell customers that they'd be better off going Turbo 400. And Chuck says I build them. And Chuck is one of those honest guys. He's going to say, I build them. I think if you're going to go racing, I think you should just get a Turbo 400. And that's the smart thing to do. But the problem is shops want that comeback, right? And you probably get one customer for 2 rebuilds. Because then he spends $12,000 with you. And you're like, I could have bought him a Billy Badass Turbo 400, converter, drive shaft, the whole kit for 12 grand. Not Billy Badass, but decently badass. Look, it sucks, guys. It sucks. I get it. You want to go fast, and the Gen 3 10R80 was fast up to 800 horsepower. Then you turned it up, and all this shit started happening. So what do? You turn it back down? No, you don't want to go slower. You want to go faster. The 10R80 ain't it. 10R80 ain't it. And I don't know how to tell you guys that in a more simple way. I just had to rebuild my 10-speed in my Raptor. Always acted crazy. It's BS. Let's finish talking about the GT500 that might be coming out. So, will that be tunable? No. Let's look at vehicles that Ford has introduced that are high-end that are not tunable. The Dark Horse, the Raptor R. Guys, the Raptor R has been around for a couple of years. You still can't tune it. People buy this truck before knowing that tuning is available or not. There is no tuning on a Raptor R. Alex, Whipple can do it. Right. Whipple and Ed have the keys to the castle. All the other tuners that actually make cars fast and allow you to run E85, 1050Xs, return fuel systems, the cool saucy shit, those guys don't have that access because I don't know. I don't really know why they don't have that access, but they don't. And maybe they don't kiss the ring enough, right? Or maybe they don't fall under a certain guideline, or maybe they haven't taken a class or some shit. But they generally don't get access to it. So do you think this GT500 is going to be something that is going to be supported by the aftermarket? No. Not just no. Fuck no. So what's going to happen? Because GT500s were tunable immediately. 2020 to 2022 GT500s were tunable immediately. People were doing E85 tunes, making 700 horsepower on pump gas, 800 horsepower on pump gas and boosting, but never told anyone there was boosting in it. DCT sucked. Even after update after update after update, the DCT still fucking sucks. And what transmission is going to end up being in it? Do you think they're going to put a 10R80 in there? 10R160? Big truck transmission? Like what? Ford, what transmission are you putting in the GT500? Better not be a 10R80. Better not be a DCT. Both of those are shit. I repeat, both of those are shit. So you better get up 8 HP. That's right. A Hellcat transmission. A ZF. That's what you should get in there, Ford. Or a manual. A proper TR70 something. What do they call it? What would be the 7-speed Tremec? You better you if you're gonna have an auto option, it better be an 8 HP 90, and if it's a manual option, it better be a 7-speed or T56. Won't be a Shelby either. Wait, it'll be a FP Cobra maybe, but according to the press releases, Predator, all of them said Shelby. The UAW said Shelby, and the Road and Track said Shelby. So Shelby it is. Raptor R is garbage. Gapped another one the other day in my truck. Full bolt on 10 speed. Still sucks. But you can't tune a GTD either. Exhaust and pulleys will be in all we can do on the GT500s. What I hate most about the 10 speed is when you stop at every stoplight, it's time to go up through another 10 gears. Yeah, no tuning for the R. That's why I bought a TRX. Not going to lie. I'm glad I did because you can tune it and it really woke it up. Even an RHO. Really high output. I'd rather get that than a Raptor R because I can tune it and go faster than a Raptor R. Since we're speaking about the crappy 10R80, is it Quick 6 still the only standalone ECU that can control the 6R80? It does. Man, I have a headache, but not in a great fashion. I wouldn't really trust a Quick 6 to like control it well on high horsepower applications. On medium horsepower applications, sure, it's fine, not a problem. Alex, guy in Tennessee, has a Gen 3 Coyote with a Gen 6 330 and a 10-hour Fox body, 860 rear horsepower. He's going to do a drag and drive. We'll have a fine example of 10R hating life shortly. Oh, man, he's going to do a drag and drive in a Fox body with 800 horsepower. He gonna learn TR6070. That's right. If Ford, look, man, just you're in the early stages. You might have already allocated people. The 8 HP is better than the 10R80 by far. It's not even close. The 8 HP is supported by everybody. Aftermarket standalone guys are fucking with it. Now you're able to adjust stuff. So if you have an 8 HP, an aftermarket controller can control it. So there, you have that can be opened up with the aftermarket. If you have a TR6070, now you bring back the fun, cool shit that GT500 should have had when you put that stupid fucking DCT in it. I get it. In terms of like a stock horsepower or maybe up to 800 horsepower car, 2020 GT500 is fine with a DCT. But it's not fun. It's not fun. It's just a DCT. It's an auto. To me, it's an auto. It drives like an auto. It's not great. It's not fun. It's not spectacular. It's not anything. A manual car at 800 horse? That's a lot of fun. They won't do that either because that's what the people would want. Exactly. Would they ever revert back to a 6R80? No. No, because then they'd have to like molds. Like you can't even find 6R80 cases. Guys, go ahead and try to find yourself a 6R80 case. It's very difficult. Jake had to go to the Laurentian Abyss and find me one. And it looks like it was at the bottom of that motherfucker too. But the TR6070 with C7 exclusive and it doesn't offer shit other than an unusable overdrive. Yeah. I just want a spicy, reliable daily driver. 700 horsepower max. Is a third gen 10R80 a good option for me? Have you not been listening at all? Experimental sound? Have you not listened to anything I said in the last 20 minutes? Holy shit. There's not much clutch surface and room to suffice making a big power. You can command them all day. It'll command the shift, then slip when that clutch doesn't engage. Absolutely saving the grace of my 392 not being able to boost the ZF 8 HP. 8 HP would make sense as seeing as how heavy the GT500 snack pack is. I asked the Ford tech yesterday, 10R or 6R. He said 6R all day long. I worked at a trans shop and we built 8 HP trans. Gotta handle them heavy ass boats. Turbo 400 is more street up. R Tower says, anyone talking about I gap the Raptor R is a mouth breather. Go off road, shit challenge. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. You're in the wrong show. Fuck a Raptor. You're going to take a $100,000 truck in the dirt? That's what it's meant to do. But we all know where the vast majority of people that drive those cars are not in the dunes or pre-running. They're going to the mall. Stop it. What do you do if an E85 is testing too high or too low at your local gas station? Well, if your local gas station has insanely inconsistent ethanol, I'd find another gas station that has consistent ethanol. I mean, call me crazy. Knowing Ford will get a 12-speed, glad I have a 6R80. They won't go back to the 6R80. Not enough gears to improve miles per gallon to meet CAFE standards. They reverted those. El Verga Larga. They reverted those. I'm pretty sure the new M34s have the 8 HP as well, and they drive good. Cars and coffee. Raptor R equals pavement, princess. Josh Meredith says, it's funny. GM guys want Ford divs to go fast, 8.8 to 9 inches. Ford guys want GM trans, 350, 400. The older guys like power glides. Glides? Got it. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. So we're going to see what happens with this development of the supposed Shelby something GT500 making its way around Detroit. What the legend motor is going to be. I wouldn't put it past them if they put a fucking push rod in there like a Godzilla. But fuck, that'd be hilarious. That would be so fucking hilarious if they did. Because it would just, and then make it not tunable. Because that would just cement the shitty thought process. I think it should be a 5.5 liter Coyote. Because you got to kind of keep up with the ZR1s and the Z06s of the world. So if you're going to offer a Shelby GT500, it's got to fuck with those. And those things have, 5.5 liter some things, 5.5 liter engines. So I think you should up the bore or stroke of the Coyote, TVS 2650, 8 HP 90, or a TR6070, or both. And I think you'll have a winner on your hands. Even though it's not tunable, it'll still at least be fun. And an aftermarket controller might be able to handle the 8 HP 90 tuning if you want to adjust your shift points. And then you're going to pulley down and basically throw octane booster in it and get your rocks off that way. So I'm out of here. I'll see you guys. Someone said no Diddy. No problem. I'll get you a Diddy clip because some new people here. So there you go. Wow. Oh man, I'm too sick to hear that. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I didn't do a giveaway today, so remind me on Thursday to give away a sweater or a shirt or something. I apologize. I just got just kind of went after it and just concentrated on the show. But today was a good conversation about pretty much GT500, something about the Cooper Baggetti stuff that's interesting, the cleat angle. Then we talked about untunable cars, how 10R80s suck. So there'll be plenty of clips to be generated from the show. I'll see you guys on Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for YDBT Daily. Look out for 1320's new channel called 1320 Daily. I'm sure they'll make that happen. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I'll see you Thursday. Bye.